love sending Kym pictures because she gets irritated. Whatever irritates Kym, I like to
funny mamas.
So now that was I was like, I had to like a son.
Two funny mamas. What's with the
Hey everybody. Welcome to Two Funny Mamas, the podcast. I'm Sherri Shepherd, and normally it would be Kym Whitley next to me, but Kym Whitley is filming a movie right now. So she thought, oh my God, I said, we got to start the segment. Why is Kym Whitley texting me now? Okay, she knew what time this daggone show started. I said, hey Siri, where are you? Okay. Oh, that's my computer. So anyway, I'm trying to start the podcast. I was about to say Kym Whitley is filming a movie. I don't know if she's going to be able to join us because she's filming a movie, but she's texting me. So I'm not sure what's going on. But Kym Whitley, where are you? So we got Joe on and you're missing. Okay. So anyway, I'm very excited. If Kym comes on, she will come on. It's been a great day so far. I'm a little sore because I had to do a trend. There's this viral TikTok trend where these two dancers, he pulls his girlfriend up by the foot, or I guess they're contestants on Dancing with the Stars, and he pulls her up by the foot. And so they said, Sherri, will you try this TikTok trend? I'm down for anything. I tried it and I fell and I fell right on my ass. I think I hit my head. Not sure why I have a headache, but I'm going to get in a tub full of some magnesium powder. But before I did that, what is Kym saying? So before I did that, I'm very excited because our guest coming on is Joe Torry, who I respect, I admire, admire and respect. And I want Joe to come on my show and hit my laugh lounge. So if you've not, let me tell you about Joe Torry. If you've not seen Joe Torry on stage, then you've got to run to see him because he's one of the OGs of comedy. How he puts together a joke is beyond me. I'm always in awe. And Kym Whitley, I'm on the set. Yes, we know you're on the set. This heifer. Hold on. You set the time for this podcast. Period. Stop setting the podcast up when you know you're filming a movie. Okay, this is what she says. She goes, why are y'all listening to Earlene? Nobody listens to me. I'm the one working. I just got off. I could do it from my phone. And I told her, you're filming a movie. Stop setting up podcasts when you're filming a movie. You know how that works.
She could always text old Chris. Oh, there she is.
All right, put her on. She's going to be talking mad mess, and I'm in the middle of doing this podcast. Uh-oh, the phone took all my words and sent it to her. Okay, well, that's okay. Kym knows how I feel. Is she coming on? Because I was doing a really great...
Let's bring Joe on, and then whenever Kym jumps on...
I didn't get to introduce him.
You started it. You started it, so go ahead.
He just like Joe deserves like all of the praise and the glory and the honor. Okay, that's the way I talk to Jesus, but I'm gonna put Joe up there. But Joe Torry, he is absolutely amazing, and you know he has a body of work that is so cool. But you may know him when he was on Poetic Justice with Janet Jackson. And I wonder if Joe kept that brush. He used to brush his hair, his character, all the time. He smacked Regina King in the mouth. He was Tupac's best friend in the movie. He could be a bit of a something, you know, but he was so good. And then he went on to do other movies. And I don't know anybody who can host a show like Joe Torry. So I'm honored to know Joe, and I love Joe, and he's got two beautiful kids, and he's pretty amazing. And his brother is Guy Torry. We've talked to Guy many, many times. So we're really honored. We've never had Joe Torry on our podcast. So I'm hoping that Kym can join us because she's over here complaining on the text for a minute. But please, please welcome, without further ado, please welcome Mr. Joe Torry. Joe,
Hey,
how are you?
how you doing? How are you? That was so beautiful. Thank you for that introduction.
I didn't.
Appreciate that.
Well, I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say, but I'm so like you've never been on the Two Funny Mamas podcast, so this is absolutely we're so blessed to have you on. Thank you.
And this is like good gumbo. This is great for the holidays. Because we've been knowing each other, you and myself and Kim, for a long time, and
For a
we've
long
both have
time.
long time. We both have we've earned our spices in life.
We sure have. And it's so funny because we go so far back. And I'll never forget, Joe, when I first came to the Comedy Act Theater, I was very shy and I was starting stand up. Kym was loud. She had this pretty smile. Everybody was in love with her. I would sit in the back and watch you. You were the host of the Comedy Act Theater. You came in after
Robin Harris.
Robin Harris. Thank you. And thank you, Age. Damn, you ever been
Yeah.
thinking of something you just go completely blank?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I
So
was
many
like,
memories. So many memories. Yeah.
it's so many. Well, you came in after Robin Harris had passed, and you became the host at the Comedy Act Theater, and you would get on
Yeah.
stage. But you could do 45 minutes an hour just talking about people in the audience. What are people wearing? And you would just go for them, and you would eviscerate people on the stage. And I just remember watching you going, "Oh my God, how does he do that?" And people would be scared to go get a drink. They would be scared to go to the bathroom because it was like if Joe turned his eye on you, he could make anything about you funny. And this is what happened to me, Joe. So I was going to the bathroom because the Comedy Act Theater had the stairs on the side of the
You had to
stage.
walk past the stage. Yep.
You had to walk past the stage. Now I got to the bathroom, and I'm a comic, and I was coming down because Joe would say things like this: "Put the light on him. Put the light on him," and that was it. And so I was trying to get past, and you saw me. You said, "Put the light on her," and I started running. I will never forget this. Joe said, Joe was like, "If you would have ran like that 10 years ago, you'd be skinny." And I was like, "Oh my God, he got me." Everybody couldn't stop laughing. I was just like, I was trying to get past you. You never missed anybody, Joe. Like, where did that sharp humor, fearlessness come from?
You know what? Growing up a military brat, and sorry if I did that back then. My spirit's in
No,
another
it was
place now.
funny. It was funny. That made me tough.
Man, you guys, that's kind of what Monique says. That made me tough, but no, that came from just being a military brat, having five brothers and sisters, and just and then wanting to be a comedian and studying different comedians, but kind of putting that quick wit. That's like watching so much TV, watching so many comics, Richard Pryor, the George Collins, the Dick Gregory's, the fast thinkers, just quick on the feet, and the Red Fox. You know what I'm saying? Just come up with something that sharp intellect that came from just raw human comedy. And as I grew older, I just learned how to perfect it. And when I saw Robin Harris, I knew how to deliver it in a more professional way because he was a master at it.
And you were such a master at your craft. You could do the dozens. You literally
Right.
watching you do the dozens, and for people who don't know what the dozens is, it's like, your mama jokes. And
Yeah, yeah,
nobody
yeah.
could hold a candle to you doing your mama jokes. And I used to study you and go home and try to think of my own your mama jokes. And I would practice them with other comics. But I would never think to go up against you. But I just would watch. There was nothing. Nobody could best you on that stage. It was there was even one, Joe, I saw you before you were at the Comedy Act. You were hosting just a regular gig at a club, and it started getting little rumblings, and you wasn't scared of nobody. That's what used to get me. Like you weren't scared. You started, okay, there's your colleague,
Oh,
Joe.
there she is.
There's your colleague. I'm
This
not
is
sure what she's
disrespectful.
doing. No,
Uh,
we're not
Is
gonna
that
do this in
Joe?
front of Joe Torry. We're not gonna do this in front of Joe.
mm,
Hi, Joe.
yes.
I don't have any
Hey,
light. I'm in
Kim.
the van trying to get back to my dressing room. How y'all gonna
Okay.
have a podcast when I told y'all I
Okay,
was on the
will you
set?
not complain in front of Joe? You can do it when we let Joe go, and I'll take the full brunt of whatever bullshit you talking. So just let's
No,
talk.
you said that I told you we could do the podcast. I'm working. I can't help that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Joe.
Kim.
Cause she got a
Kim.
talk show.
Joe,
She
Joe want to
feels
say
like
something. Joe want
Kim.
to say
Kim.
something.
You know I can fill in for you till you
yes.
get here. We all good. Okay. We know you,
Yeah.
and we blessed that you working. You know, and got your
Okay,
bang.
I
I see
know
you
Joe
got your
got
bangs
Jesus.
banging.
I know Joe
we
got
got
Jesus.
we got
Joe
some
said,
nice
Kim,
people on the van, and I don't want them to hear stuff that y'all gonna say. So I'm gonna call y'all when I get back to my dressing room because I got some nice crew people, and I don't want them to hear me talk ignorant because I've been nice on this set. I don't want them to. He said, "Talk it, talk it." This is Sherri Shepherd and Joe Torry. We do our podcast, Two Funny Mamas. Now they know Sherri knew I was on the set. She gonna
why do you?
schedule the podcast now.
Kim.
Okay,
I got a new bra on. It's kind of tight. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Well,
Girl,
is that a studio, bro?
it's a yep. They bought it, but
It's a prop.
nice. They
It's a
nice
prop, bro.
wardrobe department. It's a prop
well,
bra,
we'll wait,
and it is
Kim.
propping me up and holding in my back fat.
Okay,
They
we
did
will.
good when they bought the bra. They looked at my back, obviously, and got me a bra to put it to hold in the back fat. I was usually don't. I ain't never had nobody buy me a back fat bra, but it's the first production that said her back need a bra.
Oh
That's what they
shit!
did.
So it's
Kim,
a stunt.
I'm gonna give
It's
you
a
all
stunt,
their
bro.
names when I get to my room.
It's a
It's a
stunt,
stunt
Auntie,
bra.
bro.
Yes, absolutely.
Auntie,
Okay.
A
what
auntie
you was?
bra. Wait till you see this bra, Sherri. You're gonna want one.
I had a breast reduction,
Yes.
so I'm good. I don't
Oh, you
even wear
did have a
one.
breast reduction.
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah,
wear
you
one
don't
anymore.
need this.
Yeah, I don't need
You
this. I
don't, but
just
I
want to.
could use it for all kind of stuff.
Okay,
Go
can I
ahead,
say one
talk.
thing, Auntie, ma'am, Miss
Are you
Whitley?
calling me
You have it
auntie?
because you fussing like a auntie. So I just want to say to you, we have a very special guest on. This is Joe's first
Okay.
time on Two Funny Mamas, and I really want him to walk away with a wonderful experience.
This is the real experience.
No, she didn't turn the whole
Joe,
interview on about her back fat in a bra. We was talking to Joe about his life and his comedy. We didn't even got to when he got saved because when Joe said "bless your heart" or whatever he said, I
wait,
said
hold on.
that
Who
ain't
got
Joe.
saved? Who got saved?
Joe, Joe
Who?
Torry, Joe,
Joe who?
Joe
Girl,
Torry.
my phone about to set on fire. I know you didn't say he got saved.
I've been saved. I've been saved
Oh,
years ago.
Do you hear how calm Joe is,
Joe.
Kim? What do you remember about Joe Torry?
Joe Torry, what I remember about Joe Torry from the beginning, he
It's
never
a
had on
lot.
no shirt.
He never
He
had
wore overalls and no shirt. It had
sex.
a lot of baby oil. Oh, we can't say baby oil no more, can we? Can we use
That
that
was
word?
Yeah,
Joe,
yeah.
Oh,
but he
You
had
can
a nice
say.
he was
body.
shiny.
Joe
Oh
Back in the
yeah,
day,
really
you
he
go.
was
I shot
shiny.
it.
But
But
you had
Joe would
nice
wear like
muscles. You done got
wear like
older
a
now. You still got that?
I still got the
Are
who?
your muscles, you still got
Come on
muscles?
yeah,
now.
yeah. He still
All
got
day,
it
every day.
all day, every day. That's Joe. There you go. There goes
Okay.
Joe. You remember
Yeah.
Joe would wear like
Joe, you
a
walk,
vest and his pants, and he wouldn't have enough shirt on,
he would have
and
no
it
shirt
was
on.
like
That was what you called Brandon before Brandon started.
before
The
Brandon
Teamster,
Bolden
he
started.
getting angry. He honking at people. He want us to come on so he can get off work and go home. That's right. He about to cuss everybody out in this road. You know, we near New York.
Okay.
Not in New York, but we near New York.
How long is it gonna be before you
So
get
you
to your
pass.
dressing room? How long is it
I'm
gonna
gonna be
be
in my
before?
dressing room in about 3 minutes,
Okay, well, everybody's
but it
not on
take
the
me 10
bus.
minutes to get out the van.
With your SAG approved bra.
Wait a
Kim.
minute. Wait a minute. This is what. Wait a minute, Sherry. You know it's bad. I was on the set. You know I've been on the set, but I guess I got comfortable, right? So my little limp showed up. This little lady, I ain't spoke to her all week. She ain't spoke to me. She walked over to me. She said, "I see you limping." She said, "We got a crutch. Would you like a crutch?" I said, "Oh, shit. Oh my God. I didn't know. I was like, "Is the walk that bad?" She said, "I don't want you to hurt yourself." I
Oh
said,
God.
"Oh
Joe,
Lord,
I
I
just
said,
wanted
somebody's never
to.
gonna put me in another movie."
All right, Joe, have you seen Kim lately?
Not physically.
Okay, okay, well that's what I'm talking about. So Kim is not the Kim you remember. I just want to say that.
Wait a
And
minute now. I'm the Kim you remember. I just walk a little differently.
Okay.
so
All
Kim,
right.
Joe, Kim had some surgery, so she's recuperating from her surgery. But meanwhile, Kim walks like her left foot hurts and her right foot hurts, and so
Thank
she's
y'all.
still sexy. She just got this
Shit.
walk that's very very noticeable, and
She
she's
Is it
was
recuperating.
a
very,
hip.
very
What
noticeable?
is it? A
It's
hip or
it's
something? She.
it's not a no.
It's
She didn't
not
get a
my
hip
hip.
replacement. It's not her hip.
You
So
ain't.
you
So
Not
might
you
want
my
ain't
to
hip.
got the
Hey
Shannon.
y'all, hold on.
You
I'm gonna
ain't.
put
You
y'all
ain't
in the
got the
purse
Shannon
under my
Sharp.
bra. Hold on.
you. Why do you keep telling Joe what you're doing with your breasts? That's
Guys, I had to put y'all in the bra. Since y'all
Joe. I wanted
decided
you
to
to have a
call
good
me when I couldn't
experience,
get
but
out the
this is pretty
van.
much what
Mm.
the experience is going to be.
This
There's
is
I
nothing.
told you.
This is it.
this is accurate.
Thank you.
But Joe has
She
known
said
Kim.
this.
Who does that? Who assigns?
All right.
Don't make noise
Yeah.
We'll
more than
bring
her
Kim back
hair.
on when she's in her
We'll bring
Yeah, because I don't
bring
know if
Kim
Kim
back
is
when she's
fighting.
Shit, you can't help me no more.
she's fighting with.
She's in a fight.
Joe,
She's.
this is so embarrassing.
I'm thinking
I think she's
tomorrow.
fighting with the
Damn.
bra.
She fighting with the bra, but Kim has hijacked the entire podcast,
Yeah.
and we are the recipients of I don't know what is going to. Can we bring Kim back when she gets to her dressing room?
It's so crazy. We haven't properly taken her hair out yet.
Yeah, come on.
Chris, thank
There we
you.
go.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh. When I tell you, what'd you say, Joe?
Did you mute him?
I didn't mute him.
Am
I
I
can't.
mute?
There you go.
No, no.
There you go.
Now, what'd
You're
you
good.
say?
Okay.
We
All
can
right.
hear you. What'd you say about
I said
Kim?
he was trying to find the Kim button.
That
We
was-
have been trying to find it. It's at the Smithsonian.
for 4 years, we've been working on finding a Kim button.
We have not found the Kim, but what we have found with Kim, if you put a pair of keys in front of her and shake the keys, she calmed down.
So yeah,
Uh,
that's good.
So
You all,
so
you all were great. You were cruising along. You were talking about comedy and where Joe has. I think he was about to tell about his baptism and being saved. I think you were just jumping
no,
into
that's
Christianity journey.
No. She was. I think she was talking about
your
quick
fearlessness.
wit, fearlessness,
Your
and a lot of people don't know that after because I didn't see you watching. You know who's watching half the time because the young comics don't do that anymore. But a lot of people don't know like after your comedy night, there's like certain clubs. There's like a battle royale afterwards. People just stand by
yes.
and just talk about each other, and you work on your craft. You sit there half an hour, 30 minutes later, and just crack on each other, joan on each other. And it's just all comics, and and you really get obliterated, or you get tough skin, or people get very serious, and you walk away, and then sometimes when I grew up, we used to work on each other's jokes. We used to help each other out.
Yeah.
Sherri used to come over. I used to try to help you write, and hey,
Yes,
do this on stage
absolutely.
and move like this, and you gotta have this. You gotta when you say this, you gotta have some balls when you say it. You gotta be fearless. You can't let them see you sweat. And
But it's so
that's
funny.
kind of a yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, look at you now. You look at you now. You say stuff so indirectly and you become so much of a oh my God, conversationist, and I
You
think
know,
that's the greatest gift as a comedian that can receive because you can just sit down and talk, and you can just make anything funny. I mean that's kind of what what I wanted to achieve to be because comics tell jokes, comedians tell stories, clowns are clowns, entertainers entertain. But when you become a conversationist, you can just sit down, you can just use your wit and your knowledge and be funny. It's the greatest gift that you accomplish.
wow. Thank you for that, Joe. That means a lot coming for you because I respect you so much. I just, it was just so funny coming up and watching you. Like I was saying, I saw you and just you had it, as comics coming up, we would hustle and get gigs to get
Yeah.
paid. And you had a gig and people was trying to heckle you. That would see people who didn't know Joe Torry, but they found out. F around and find
Yeah.
out has been used with Joe
Yeah.
Torry since decades ago. That phrase, as soon as I heard that phrase, that governor said it in his state, F around and
Mm,
find out. I said, they done
right.
stole Joe Torry's whole world. Cause people who didn't know Joe Torry and they thought they could heckle him, because Joe did come out, he'd have like a vest, on, and he'd have his arms out. Joe liked to show his body off. His body, it is now. And I'm talking about the younger body. It was just buff, and he was very sexy
Yeah.
on stage, and Joe knew it. Joe knew he was good. So dudes would try to heckle him, and they would F around and find out because Joe Torry is like a machine gun. Not even a machine gun. What do you do? What do you call it? AR-57. Like he would obliterate you in the
RPT.
span of 30 seconds. Joe and people would then be scared to move. And Joe, you just didn't want him to. You didn't want Joe to turn on you because he wouldn't stop. I've had more experiences with Joe at clubs with dudes left mad, and it was like, I'm coming to blow this place up. This man that made me so mad. He done humiliated me in front of my girlfriend. You remember the townhouse, Joe?
Yeah, AKA the clown house.
And Joe was just, you know,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I always admired about you because it frequently ended comedy clubs. Birdland West. Joe would go
Yeah.
up, he'd talk about somebody so bad in front of their girl or their friends, and it was the same thing. They done left, y'all, they coming back with a gun. We gotta go. Joe, Joe,
Now,
when that
now,
happened, what would be going through your mind when people was like, I'm coming back to get you? You never
you
was
know,
scared.
no, I was from St. Louis. I came out here. I had nothing to lose back then. I wasn't married with 3 kids, baby mama. I was out here like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really mess with nobody. If you were talking, if usually I got on you, I said something and got off. But if you were just being distracted, then I
Yes.
kind of, okay, okay, I got you. And if you want these hands, you want attention, I'm gonna give you attention inside and outside the club. So how you want to do this. Now I have been,
Oh,
yeah, it has cost me some jail time and some bullets flying and
Joe, how do you
got
feel
some
about
disagreements. But
I love how your language, disagreements. People people do not to mess with Joe. I mean, you're besides the emceeing, your fearlessness and your quick wit got you a lot of attention because then you would come over. You just always saw Joe around, and you was always at the clubs working on your stuff. Like so, when you literally are one of the OGs of comedy. A lot of comics respect you. Why do you think you still relevant now? Because a lot of comics, you see them doing the same material that they did 20 years ago. You watch you on stage, and you just, your material is solid, it's tight, it's amazing. Why do you think? What do you think keeps you going, keeps you relevant, Joe?
it's funny you say that because now it's coming from you and answering that question. I think growing as a comic and allowing yourself to grow as a comic um, helps you, stay relative to everybody. Because when I started out, I didn't have any kids, I didn't have nothing like that. So now, I kind of grow and I take people through that experience of, okay, the first time, if I'm married, next thing I got a kid, and the stuff you go through with a kid, and then your second, and your baby mama, and then you got a daughter, and you got a son, and the things they go through, and then the things that you have to, as a person, have to prepare yourself for life. And those are everyday things that we become heroes for people that don't get on stage, that don't have a voice to put it in a song, put it in a rap record, but to come and laugh on the stage about it, or to come on your show and talk about it. So it's like, it's almost growing to a point where you're not stuck in the day where you're single. Now, okay, you're a single man that is a parent now. With man, I thought my single days would never end. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
you know, but now you're going through 20 or 15 years of marriage, and you're experiencing what women go through as far as being a daughter, as far as being, a wife. Is I got a joke, going from girlfriend to menopause. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like you better recognize girl girlfriend relationships ain't menopause relationships.
So
so
what?
so
Mm-hmm.
and then having your kids, having a um Stallone said this. You Sly Stallone. He said this before. Because my kids kind of went to school with him, but seeing somebody say that, you're single at first when you start out, but then it's like you keep needing another purpose, because now you're a teacher and you become a parent. I got a son
Yeah.
that's in the business as well. Your nephew,
My
Cameron,
nephew Cameron Torry.
who who's oh my God, I'm so proud of.
So
We
good.
just we just yeah
Thank
we
you.
just did a show together couple of weeks ago when he opened. It was Chris Spencer, myself,
Tell them I'm coming.
Lex, and and Guy Torry. It was a Fat Tuesday, so it was a family experience.
Yeah.
And my 22-year-old, he's film school. He shot everything and put it up. So it was like seeing that whole thing coming, in full circle. And I got a daughter who's 14-year-old producer. She look at y'all and like, yeah, y'all, I don't know if you met my daughter. I don't think you met my daughter. I think Kim
I
has as
met
well.
your
But yeah,
daughter,
so
yes.
so she'll be 15 in a couple of weeks. So seeing that, oh man, I got to keep moving the goal, because they're
Yeah.
getting older, and they it keeps you inspired to be blessed to be a leader.
Joe, it's comedy has changed so much from when we were starting out. Kim as well, on that stage. What do you think
Uh,
about? And Kim, you can add whatever you want because we see you getting dressed back there, looking like Get Christy Love, your Foxy Brown
is,
hair.
yeah, she
Right,
got
I
that.
got dressed.
I don't know how much bigger the hair can get. You look good, but if you have anything you
They
want to ask
just
Joe, or you want to say to Joe,
um
because we
no, no, I was just listening to what made you start your type of comedy, like your own brand. What made you say this is the style I'm going to do? Was there somebody that you
Uh,
saw, or
I'm sort of a should I say a hybrid of the comedians I studied, from Miles Mabley to Dick Gregory, to Robin Harris, to Richard Pryor, to Bill Cosby, to George Carlin, to Lenny Bruce. So
ooh,
that's a wide
yeah.
that's a wide range, but each one of them, so to Red Fox, who is a real comedian, but he made his money as a comic, just telling straight jokes and performing. And I saw the kind of the pinnacle of all of them. I really wanted to be Sammy Davis Jr. So
A full-on entertainer.
a full out. Yeah, when I
can
first
can
saw that guy,
can you sing?
I was like, wow. That's when I knew I couldn't sing, couldn't dance like Sammy. I said, I'll take the acting and the comedy. But that
It's
dude's
such
a
a
beast.
a,
That
a a
dude's a
big
beast.
it's such a difference, like I was saying, when we first started, when we were doing stand-up to now, because now you have social media and you have
Right.
comics who
Oh,
are social media comics where they do the skits, They do the lighting, they edit, and really quite good at it.
Right.
And then you have those of us who we've been grinding in the clubs, on the road, going out. We are very much wordsmiths. We set up our jokes. We don't just go out there and do. We very much respect that comedy. How do you feel
Right.
about the state of comedy today with the comics that are on social media? Then they go out and they do comedy clubs and they fill up. Because sometimes I feel like I respect them, but I feel like the audience, these young people who go to comedy clubs, they don't have anything to compare it to.
Mhm.
So when they go to the clubs, whatever they're receiving, that's what they think comedy is. So I know it's kind of like a loaded question, but what do you think the state of comedy? How do you feel about it?
For one, right now, state of comedy, my thing is, if you don't have a plan, then the plan will plan you, and you will plan to stay in the area where you think, um, that respects you. And then if it grows, then you either grow with it, or you just stick with that, what's in your garden these days. And I think, for a comic that's been in it for me going on 35 years, I kind of had a plan, and I kind of want to keep growing. So I respect the new comics that are coming through, because I mean, they're when I was coming up, I mean, especially as an African American comic, there wasn't these many places, there wasn't as many opportunities, and there were a whole lot of white comics and other comics that weren't funny were filling up these clubs as well, just because people come to comedy clubs. And you were like, wow. And you couldn't get booked in a comedy club. Maybe if you had one black person in there one weekend and the rest were all white. Now it's like you got every weekend, and the majority of comedy clubs are predominantly black headliners.
Mhm.
And maybe have the white guys are during the week, or maybe if they're not a big enough name, you know what I'm saying? And my thing is, I like that, because of the fact that now is everything's integrated, and these young comics have a place to bring their talent off of stage.
Yeah.
They've now, the ones that haven't honed it yet, they'll learn real quick that, okay, you need to, say this ain't no lightweight. This is, needed. You can't do skits, can't do sketches. People come to
Yeah.
hear you do this stuff in real time, and you don't have time to edit it. And that's why I say the greatest form of a comedian, over an entertainer, is a comedian, because you have to edit, be a producer, you have to be the extras, you have to write, you have to be the music, you have to be everything all in one scene. In a split of a moment, you have to be every character in your movie in front of these people in like 20 minutes, 23 minutes. Or if
Yeah.
you're on stage an hour, you're everything that, and people don't think about that. And you're doing that in real time. And they find
Real
that
time.
out. But I'm glad it's a venue that, um, first of all, keeps their new era of comedy going, because I had my era, and we got our era. I'm past the point of like, okay, I knew when I came through, it was probably people hating on me. Oh, why do you look with this easier now? And yeah, it's easier for every generation, and I think every generation should welcome every generation of how they do it. Now, when you do it consistently, great. But at least when somebody does it, it lets you know that it can be done, and there
Yeah.
is an audience for that. Now, some of this stuff is real stupid, where I'm like, I don't know how people watching this, but then we got Trump in office, so I don't know how people watching this, but they watching this, so
But they
it lets
watching
you
it.
know that it can be done, and there's an audience for that. So it gives you a barometer of how low you can go and how high you can go, but at the same time, the channels are not NBC, CBS, ABC, and
Yeah.
UHF anymore. There's so many other ways to let God shine through you, and you can find your own audience, and that's how I look at it.
You are really great at pivoting, and what's the word I'm looking for, Chris? When you can pivot and just say, okay, now I got
Mm,
to go and do something else, and I respect that about you.
right,
You went into acting, because that's what a lot
right,
of as comics, that kinds of tends to be the natural transition for us, to go into acting, like that
right.
next level. And you now produce, like I was telling everybody, okay, you remember Joe from Poetic Justice. How was that filming Poetic Justice with Regina King and Janet Jackson and Tupac.
And experience. I mean, the right place, right time. I pray for that. I've been praying for that since I was a kid, and that's why I say you're always in the right place at the right time, because every day is
Mm.
your birthday. You know what I mean? So my era was at a time where I could understand what it is now, so I can explain it later to these new kids, like
Yeah.
you, for what you've been through. So learning stuff from John back then, from Tupac, who turned 21 during the movie, Regina King, who's awesome. She was 22, 23 during the movie. And I think Janet was, I think she was a year younger than me. So she was 24, 25. I was a year
Okay.
older. So yeah, so we were like, but they had more years in the game than me. So I was sitting back like a sponge, like, they've been acting since they was like 12, 13. They've been doing
Yeah.
music. I've been doing my comedy stuff. So we kind of helped each other out with, I would punch up their jokes. Like, some of the jokes, most of the jokes that's in there is funny because of me.
Yeah.
I gave Tupac the Banaka line and Janet some of them lines and let them be funny within that character. And I think that's the beauty of what I do. I can
Yeah.
be dramatic, but I can be funny in the dramatic moments. I'm not goofy, silly, and that's part of my acting style, which is where I can deliver, and I'm almost like that Denzel Sam Jackson is. We don't have to be clownish and buffoonish, but we can give you some real stuff where you can respect it
Yeah.
as being, as acting, but being comedic in again. Only certain people know how to do that without overdoing it.
So what you produce as well
Right?
now. And I remember coming to the theater a few years ago to see something you did. You were a police officer, I believe.
Yeah,
Um
Noodles
Nude.
about to get it.
Yes, and so you were producing, and now you pivoted again. So you behind the scenes, which is a lot more. You have a lot. Do you feel you have a lot more control being behind the scenes producing as opposed to just acting?
I think you're always producing. You're always producing
Hmm.
yourself in your head. You know where you want to be at a certain time. So I don't, it's you're always in a place you want to be, and then when you get a chance to be everything you are, and but you got to do it in little steps. So yeah, I've always been producing or directing myself or knowing where I want to be, and now it's just when you get a chance to get enough, like you said, you get a body of stuff under your, in your resume where people respect you for that, and then you try to help them get to a certain level because I'm still learning how to, even produce on another level. Whatever level you get to, you're always gonna there's always another level, and you got to leave yourself open to that. Like you don't know everything. I just have to be good energy circulating to get to a higher point
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, we're just currency and we're just a river. We're trying to flow, let other stuff get through. And if once we stop, it stops here. It stops when you think it's all about you. And to me, I never thought it was all about me. I think I'm just, when I pray to be in this situation, as far as, answer my dreams, and I will be a leader and a servant, and I will, try to be light for others. I think now that I'm older, I understand my position. Just, hey man, just do your job and get out the way.
What do you think? Do you have? I can't see you bombing, Joe. I don't think I've ever seen you bomb on stage. We all have a story where we just didn't. Now, I got a lot of
Right.
where I bombed. I talked about it on my show of bombing at the
Mm-hmm.
comedy act, and still in my journal still has tears on it where I bombed because I
Yeah.
didn't know who I was on that stage. I tried to act like Cheryl
Right.
Underwood. I went
Right.
home with my
Right.
tail between my legs because I realized I can't be Cheryl Underwood.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
impossible. Have you ever had any experiences on stage where it was just like this thing go well?
Well, of course you're gonna have them where they don't go well if you don't prepare. Uh, but then if you're giving the wrong news, like, okay, well, audience, is this what I'm talking about? I've had situations where, okay, my money went right, and this, I still had to go on stage, and it's like, oh man, you know what? I don't even feel like it now. So when the money ain't right, and then you're just like, wait a minute, man, we supposed to have 300 people, and that was 1,500.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
And for the money that that I said I would do this for, and then you want me to go out there and be Elvis and Michael Jackson? And no. So here's a story about one time where that happened, and we did a little weekend, and I was like myself, and then Tony Roberts happened to be on one of the shows where because I was just helping somebody out. Hey, we gonna do this little city, and we do this big city, but crowd should be about 300. And they hit us up like, "Hey, we need the radio, whatever. Tickets ain't sold." And I'm like, "Oh, well, it's a little town on a Sunday, and it's y'all, you knew you was gambling." So he was like, "Okay, but I'm gonna let y'all know we might not be able to do this." And then we get there, and it's like 1,500 people. It's like an entertainment center, and we're like, "Oh, we
Oh,
looking for bonuses." And I was like, "Ain't no bonuses. Oh, we did this. We let these people in free." Uh, and it was a seminar for I didn't know what a seminar was for. I think it was for battered women and assault and I just came out with some beat your ass stuff, and it was like, and in between every set, they was bringing up people doing like 10-minute like monologue just about what they went through, and it was just like bringing the crowd down. And
right.
then Tony Roberts went on and did some of his with the music, and I went on and I started cracking on all that, and everybody was like, "What the hell are we crying? Why would you talk about people?" And I was like, "This ain't what I signed up for.
Uh,
I don't think this is funny." And it was like, "No," and I was like, "Hey, look,
no, we don't.
let me tell you what I've been sold." And they was, "Ooh," I was like, "Whatever." So I was about to maybe the last time I felt like, okay, I had to get off stage. But and then another time when you're doing shows with entertainers, like okay, you can take your show off. When you're doing shows, what comedians got to know with when they just want to see the singer, Tank, and people that really take their clothes off, yeah, get it. And they doing colleges, get your ass off stage. Let you take your shirt off.
How is it? I have to say that's not one of the ones I've done as colleges. How is it doing
Oh my
colleges?
god, I do a lot of them. It's different when you know what crowd you have because you have an alumni crowd and you have the young crowd. So
Yeah.
sometimes you get they told me, like I had to do a Christian college one time and they was cussing me out from the audience. Telling me, get off, we want to see. They were cussing me out. So when I got to cussing them, I was like, you can't do that. I was like, they cussing me. What are you talking about?
Oh man.
Yeah, so it could be. So when you get older, you're like, okay, unless you want to host it, and as you can control it, and you can kind of just get the crowd up into like, you on every level because alumni want to be there, but the kids are restless, and you're talking from the 18-year-olds to like 70-year-old people. You kind of
Yeah.
gotta know how to, okay, what crowd you got, how far to go, and I'm saying, and just hey, leave it to these youngins.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. It's so
Yeah.
many,
Oh,
it's so many. Mm-hmm.
go ahead. You can no, go ahead.
With all of the comedy going around, there's so many, people with podcasts, and there's just a lot of comics. There's a lot of comics. Everybody has a different style.
Right.
And then all these comics going around, they have beefs with each other. We saw, Cat on Club Shay Shay, and it was just like going off on different comics who he had issues with, and comics going off on other comics that they have issues with. What do you
Right.
think about these beefs that are going on between the black comics? And I will say this one thing. I talked to a comic, and he was saying when Netflix had Netflix as a joke, so they had all the comics at the party. He said, Sherri, all the white comics was getting along. But the black comics, you had factions over here that wasn't over
Right.
here. You had Cat over here. You had Kevin over here. If you took a picture with one, you ain't loyal to the other. He said, like, nobody was getting along on the black side, and he said it was just crazy. So these beefs that happen, how do you feel about that? Being in the season that you're in right now? You think we let
Well,
bygones be bygones, or
oh well, I came up in a season when you had beefs. I mean, hey, we handle beefs, a lot different.
yeah,
You get beat down. Period. Serious. I mean, I grew up in the '90s, so
yeah,
so in the beef when I see you on stage or I see you
yes,
somewhere. That's how we handle it. And you know, sorry that my history is slapping the crap out of a lot of people. But I mean that's the '90s. That's how I grew up. It's coming from St. Louis. That's how you handle your business. Somebody steal your joke, you get disrespected. I mean, you smack them up, and then that was it. Um, so the
I love it.
end of the beef. I mean, hey, for
Yeah,
real. Nowadays, I mean, they kind of know. I mean, you put my name in your mouth, it better be talking about I'm praying for them or something saying nice, or I don't stay in shape for nothing. So,
yeah.
might get smacked at the Oscars, at the Emmys, on the
Oh my
internet,
gosh.
at the barbershop. You right? Hey, we can get to you. And I'm like, I'm like, that's not me these days. I'm like, I don't have beef with people. I pray on it. I give it to the universe. And if you happen to be around where I got to put these hands on you, well,
Chris, if there's any questions for Joe, please interrupt me and
I
Oh
try to
yeah,
pray
ask.
about it first. I really
absolutely.
do.
So I Joe's. I'll just back Joe up. Like to this day, there's still a taste of that. I just saw some musical artists get scammed on a feature, and these dudes in St. Louis are professionals, good people, and they're like, "All right, when's this guy coming through town?" Like St. Louis, it still happens
Yeah.
like that. A
Yeah.
couple.
That's that.
It's real. A couple comments. Franz was asking earlier about doing the movie with doing Sprung in the 90s and your thoughts
Oh
and,
yeah.
and any kind of memories with that. And then there's a few more. Everybody's very excited at how you still look the same age. Joe, I think
Very much.
that's noteworthy. I'd want to hear that too. And everybody's we got a couple notes
I don't have the hair.
about Kym earlier, but I'll let you talk about Sprung and I'll hit you with some others. Sherri.
Yeah. Tell us about Sprung.
Oh my gosh. Sprung was the funniest moments was probably the moments I didn't want to do. Isn't that crazy?
Really? Really?
I was like, man, if I see these green draws one more time, that wasn't written in the script. If I put on these little green draws one more time, man, dude, I'm flipping shit over. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. And you go in your dressing room and all you see on the hanger is some green draws. Like they had on a like hey, little draws. No bathrobe, no nothing. I'm supposed to walk out here like I'm the Hulk. To set. I ain't got no cover up. Nothing. And this is after breakfast in the morning. I ain't been to ain't worked out. It's like what? The first shot like this is 8 o'clock? What are you talking
Oh my
about?
gosh.
Oh my God, man. They was Mm. So that one scene with John Witherspoon and myself, I don't even remember reading that scene. I was like, I remember it, but I don't remember it like me sitting here like that man went to jail, but with the draws, we thought this would be what? You know how cold it was riding on top of that Porsche in Pasadena at 2, 3 in the morning and with the draws on that car, jumping out. Oh my, running out of there. Oh my, y'all have no idea. So anyway,
What you do for
yeah,
your craft.
sprung. Okay. And I was dating Adina Howard at the time, so Adina
You was
Howard was
dating
making
Adina
it
Howard.
miserable. Oh man, she was on the set giving Paula was going through her thing, and Kym was giving me crazy. Kym was going crazy because Cameron was just born. I was having him. I had my boys on the set. I had the first Sprinter. It wasn't a Sprinter yet, but I had the conversion van with the
Yeah.
VCR and everything in it. It was hooked up like a Sprinter. The bed in the back, so that was like our portable stuff. Tisha came by, Paula. Everybody was chilling in there.
Yeah.
But I used to just drive up and have that. But Sprung was good. Sprung was funny. I love what it did to me. All those things brought out certain parts of me where I didn't think I could be that goofy.
I am gonna go back and watch Sprung this weekend just because
Yeah.
I'm remembering all of that.
Oh
And
my
and
God,
it,
Sprung was crazy. Sprung was yeah. You had to be in a moment for that movie, and I think I was in the right moment because people were trying to get me to do more dramatic stuff and lead me toward that, and they would say Sprung's gonna ruin your career because we're trying to get you to do more, Janet Jackson over the after Poetic, I was supposed to do Major League.
oh really?
Yeah, yeah. Omar Epps did it, because
You were
they
going to be in
paid
the
him
second one.
less. The second Major League. Yeah. Did all the stuff with Holly Berry flew down and did that stuff, and then my agents screwed that up. But yeah,
Okay.
I was supposed to be in Major League. Yeah.
Sherri, we got another question. You brought her up. Sean wants to know in the live chat about filming with Janet Jackson. You brought her up a little bit earlier, and you just brought her up now. And I know Sherri's a little bit of a fan, so I figured that'd be relevant to throw in right now.
Yeah. So what was the question? I
They
am
want
a fan.
more folks curious about filming with Janet Jackson. Any memories from that, or kind of how you felt about it at the time?
Well, at the time, you were like, "Well, Janet Jackson, what? What? Pay me anything to be in this movie."
Yeah. I mean,
Food
I can't
stamps. Are food
imagine.
stamps still available? um, because Ice Cube was supposed to have been the first one that John. I met John during that movie, and John knew he wanted me. He knew he wanted Regina,
John Singleton, the
Janet,
director.
John Singleton, excuse me, John
Yeah.
Singleton, the director. He saw him in the comedy club, and he's like, "I want you to play this role." So I didn't know who John was at the time, but as far as Janet was the most professional. Um, people been in love with Janet. I know I've been since she was on Good Times.
Yeah.
She was Penny.
Any.
It was like
Mm.
getting beat in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Get in that closet. I was like, oh, don't do that. I'm gonna marry her and take out the closet.
Oh my
I
gosh,
was
that was a
a
Chip.
year.
That was
I was
Chip
10. She
Fields.
was 9. Chip.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
Chip. You're
Yeah.
right. Remember that? So meeting her and man, Janet is just such a sweetheart. The most professional, the purest heart angel that you can possibly have around you. I mean, used to take us to her house, and we used to jet ski, and she used to feed us. She helped me with my workout regimen because Janet was, she was kicking it with us, and she would disappear for like an hour and a half. Where Janet go? She'd be upstairs working out with her trainer. Um, she kicking on the beach for a minute, but she would always know where she need to be, wherever she need to be at her time of performing, getting in shape, if she's chilling. But she always kept a routine, and I was like, wow. And she always kept it at home.
Mm.
You don't need to go nowhere. So she taught me a lot as far as being a professional on set, no matter how pissed off or messed up somebody can be or the situation can be. You never seen her
Yeah.
show it. Um, you always. I remember one time she packed up her stuff. She was done for the day, and she had to be like 30 minutes out. He came with an entourage, and they called her to come back. She turned around and came back, finished the scene, and it was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So certain things like that, I have nothing said bad about Janet, Regina, Tupac. Yeah, he was young at the time. He turned 21 during the movie, so he was going through a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, now having my own couple 21-year-olds, you know that okay, life is sometime. And when you're handling that part of what you're going through, I understand what he was going through at that time in the 90s. Wow, my son
Yeah.
could never handle that.
Yeah. It was a lot of pressure.
None of them. Oh my God.
It was. It was a lot of pressure
Yeah,
being
he was.
Tupac. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, or not even being Tupac, but being the spirit of Tupac.
Mm.
Sometimes we're here for a reason. When
Yeah.
the energy is never lost, always here.
Yeah.
And what he had to do at the time and his spirit energized the world that is never would be forgotten.
Absolutely. I wanted to before I continue talking to Joe. Chris, can we put up what
Yeah. we
we
got
do?
we got a couple
Folks know.
shows to let's tell some folks about this real quick. Chicago
Yeah.
City Winery tomorrow. Joe and Jay McNutt.
Chicago, yeah.
Yeah, you've got Chicago. We've got all kinds of people in Chicago that tune in on this, and that's tomorrow. Check this out. Joe Torry with Jay McNutt. You can check him out. City Winery, and this is a tour. It's very exciting. And then Thursday, the 14th, just I don't know, half a mile from where I sit right this second. You can see Joe in St. Louis as that City Winery tour moves on. So if you're in St. Louis, you can see Joe Torry with Jay McNutt at City Winery, St. Louis. Beautiful place. All kinds of great shows come through there. It's a nice night. And again, it's not in the Zombieland part of town that you saw, Sherri. The quiet part.
Over there in St. Louis.
Sherri has mixed feelings.
You gotta check in with me before you go to St. Louis, Sherri. You gotta check in with
Joe.
Check in with Joe Torry here. I'm from the dirtiest spot.
I think that's where we're at.
I don't think so. No.
I want to tell people before we continue. So Joe is doing a tour at City Winery. So you can go to citywinery.com for tickets. Am I correct, Joe? And then look up the City Winery that is in Chicago and the City Winery that is in St. Louis. Am I correct?
St. Louis.
I'd go to Joe Torry's Instagram as well. Check him out.
Is that a better place, Joe?
I mean, you can go there, but just go to City Winery, Chicago, City Winery. They were down nationwide yesterday. Like nobody can get tickets for nothing for the next year, and they fixed it. So the website is and this City Winery, they're around. City Winery. Yeah, see, that's where you need to go. Go to City Winery, Sherri.
I do City Winery in New York. I flew Kym out to do City Winery with me.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
It's a good room. City Winery, and then I did it in Atlanta.
Okay.
It's City Winery because I like City Winery because it's grown people. It's just like they are grown. They pay that money. They want to have a good time. It's the difference between going to I don't want to name no clubs.
You know, and name all the clubs. I name all of them. No, I've done all of them. I don't care about naming them. It's different between going to your average comedy club. This is grown folks. City Winery, they start on time. In St. Louis, I'm having my boy GJ Cut do it. You can do something special. But this grown folk stuff right here. This is a City Winery. And they usually don't do comedians. They only do special comedians. They do jazz. They do that flavor where you're not going to be there, and your car's not going to be broken into. You got to look over your shoulders. You can get there early, eat dinner.
Oh my God!
You know what I'm saying? You're afraid I think they might have LA. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm saying you can eat dinner, get there early, eat dinner, have wine, and the show start on time. And it
starts on time.
So, yeah.
Joe, I don't know if you are. It's funny because Kym and we went out. I did City Winery twice in Atlanta. I love it. I love City Winery because it is grown people. But Kym and I were joking to each other. Our audience has changed. Our audience is older now. And I said to Kym, what? Did this happen last week that now we see more wheelchairs and canes and walkers? Where all these damn wheelchairs come from? And our audience now, I don't know about you, but we have to now move our show to like 6 o'clock. You remember we used to have an 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock show?
Listen, hey.
They want to go to bed.
Listen, DL and I was talking about the same thing. And he was like, man, have you noticed our second shows? I'm like, yeah, we need to move our shows up because, some of these people got to get back to the nursing home. I mean, I said, wait a minute. I've been doing this 35 years. So that means if somebody's been a fan at 30, then they're 65.
They're 65.
And if they've been 40, they're 70. And if and it's like, man, dude, we need to start moving out. We need to start doing, 4 p.m., 5 o'clock show.
When I tell you, Joe, it's like you're absolutely right because that's what Kym said. She said, Sherri, but our fans when we were young, they were young. They've grown up with us, and I guess it's just because I just always expected my audience to stay in their 20s and their 30s. But if they've grown up with us, they are in their 60s. And when I
Right.
did the
70s.
Baltimore in the 70s, I did the Baltimore Comedy Club, and we changed our time because the second shows always
Mhm.
sell the slowest because people don't want to come to no 10 o'clock show.
No, no,
And
no.
so at the
Not the
Baltimore, keep going, go.
n- no, because our market now is between 35. Our strongest market with us is 35 to 44,
Yeah.
and the spectrum will go from 35 to 54,
Yeah, I
and
got
that's
you
just kind
beat.
of where we at. You know what I'm saying?
Me
No,
and
as
Kim
far
got
as
you beat.
strongest injured, yeah. No, I'm saying, I mean, the spectrum from people that, I mean, radio
Yeah.
stations or how people come out now. Now I say no. Mine is people be out 60. Say yeah, but that's you ain't gonna find 300 people out. 300 people, 60 plus out in the second show at
You
9 o'clock,
won't.
unless you're on a cruise.
Yo, it was two things that happened at the Baltimore Comedy Club. We had to change our time to
Mm.
7 and 9, I believe. But when I came out of the club, this lady was in a wheelchair and she was the last one there. And I said, ma'am, what are you doing? And she said, what are you doing here? She said, I'm waiting for my grandbaby. He ain't picked me up yet. Like
Oh my
literally, she was
God.
waiting for her grandson. And I ended up calling her Uber because I said, her grandson ain't leaving the party where he at. His
No, he
grandmother
ain't.
here in a wheelchair. And we had people in line for me and Kym in Killeen, Texas. This lady came with an oxygen tank, had to
Yeah.
breathe, take a breath, and then come take the picture. And Kym was doing what she was doing with you, all of that talking. And I said, Kym, this lady gonna die on the stage. Let her take the picture so she can take some oxygen from her tank. And I said, I don't know if we charge extra because you got to bring up that big old tank on your chair, but I've had groups from nursing homes come to see me, and I said I need to sell instead of my headshot and little stuff. I need to sell blinged out canes. They got my name on it.
On
No
the, on that note, I have a live chat comment from Darletha saying she was one of those at 54 years old at your Texas shows. I went to the first show at 7:30, pulled in my driveway at 10, knocked out by 10:15. And hey, I'm not judging on what these audiences will be like, but I have a feeling Joe may want to get an early bird special in on some very important shows. Deja, would you pull up those other flyers that we need to tell people about with Joe?
Yes,
Joe, you'll
please.
have to tell us about this. The 6th annual Red Fox Comedy Award of Humor.
man.
And again, I don't know if the early bird's included, but I think you'll smack somebody if they get out of line or anything else. So I'm not too worried about the crowd with you, Joe.
Joe, you're being honored at the annual Red Fox Comedy Award. No, I don't know if you want to say anything about the clubs what we were talking about. I don't want to stop your flow.
No, no, no. No. I mean, that's all training. I think people need comedy, and that's why I say comedian is one of the greatest talents or greatest jobs you can have, and honing it is one of the greatest professions you can have because you can use it in any format, from hosting to talking, delivering speeches in college, doing whatever else. And this Red Fox Award, I think, is because of that. Just understanding the humor, the possibilities of what you can do with your humor. Red Fox did a lot.
Yes.
You see they're honoring D.L. Hughley. I don't know if you met who's it Sweet Lou from Vegas. I met way back in the day.
Oh,
But I don't
wow.
know. Everybody's getting a different award, and and they've been trying to give it to me for years. I just been so busy when they started this. Like I'm always working, or always blessed to be light somewhere, and that's how I look at it. So this year, the Lord has blessed me to make it to Atlanta on December 8th, and people can get tickets and come in and enjoy the whole experience. I think it's sponsored by I think it's Laugh Out Loud TV or something like that, and another
Okay.
Kevin Hart or something like that. Something, yeah. So
Okay.
it'll be the but anyway, yeah. It's that, and hey, I got the Sammy Davis Jr. Award sitting over there. one of my idols, the Red Fox Award, because I'm from St. Louis. I met Red Fox when I was an extra in Harlem Nights, and just a little bit of time I spent with him, he gave me, so much knowledge just in real life about, being a comedian. And
Yeah.
so I'm honored to get this award. It's
Where
in
can they
Atlanta.
get
It's in May.
in Atlanta? Where can they get tickets?
I think did I send another thing up there is where they can see? I think they can go to is it a website at the bottom of the flyer, like right there?
Is it a
Something like
website,
that?
Chris?
Get tickets.
Well, I believe it's
I think it's
posted
at
all
the
over the Instagram.
bottom
I'm
of the
checking
flyer.
right now. Yeah, it's probably just cut off
Yeah, but
there
people want them.
on the
They
share.
can see the Red Fox Awards in Atlanta.
Here we go.
Instagram. Hey Siri, what's up
No,
with the
it's
Red
not.
Fox Awards in
I'll find
Atlanta?
it.
Yeah, because we want to make sure that
What's
we
up with
put
the
it
Red
up.
Fox
So
Awards?
we want to make we
Let's
want
see
to
if I
make
can
sure
get
that
it
we,
on my.
because a lot of people don't do the research, so we
So,
want to make sure that we
so
have it out.
December. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. So
So
December.
there's a. Great.
Okay, I've got the link. I'm going to drop it in the live chat. It's the 6th annual Red Fox Award of Humor. Eventbrite is where you can get that.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you have, Joe?
Okay.
Yeah. They have the Eventbrite. I guess if whatever you have there, but I know they can go to email Red Fox Award. What this is.
That's yeah, absolutely. So you can check that out in the live chat right now if you're watching this, and it's going to be in the description of the episode if you're listening as well. So you can get tickets. You can go see all kinds of funny people in Atlanta on December 8th is where you can do
December
that. Sunday,
8th.
December 8th. Yeah. Nobody in Atlanta's got anything more fun going on a Sunday.
I'm
Come on.
telling you, we want to make sure we get that out. There's a story, Chris, that I tell people. Joe, I host a lot of charity events where they're trying to raise money. I just got back from hosting an event with the retired NFL player Kurt Warner, and they raised.
Oh, that's my guy. That's my guy. Love Kurt. That's my guy right there.
I gotta have a kid just to name him Warner.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Well,
he got a lot of kids. So
he got 7 kids.
But I know his wife. Yeah, I know his
Brenda.
wife. I know his whole family. Yeah, Kurt.
When was this?
Kurt. Yeah, Kurt Warner's.
I tell the story. It was just last week because they built their one son out of the 7 kids is blind, and they built they bought an old hotel and they gutted it and redid it, and they have 35 kids with special needs, including their son. It is an amazing state-of-the-art facility, and they were trying to raise money because they want to build them in different cities. And when Brenda Warner asked me, I said, of course. Now, I've hosted events for Susan Taylor at Essence, and these 2 events, one raised $2 million, Susan Taylor's, and Brenda and Kurt Warner raised $500,000. Now, I say this to say, Joe, I don't know if you remember this, because I'm always in awe of people when I'm at a charity event and then nobody bids on anything, even though they're trying to raise money. And then when I'm at a charity event and they raise a lot of money. So you and I hosted a charity event for Bernie Mac in Chicago. I don't know if you remember. And y'all, we did it was an event for Bernie Mac. I don't remember what he passed away from, what his ailment was, but we hosted this event and they had the best gifts. If you can remember, Joe, they had amazing people had donated, pro golfers had donated golf clubs. They had Bernie Mac's personal golf clubs. They had diamond necklaces. They had the gifts they were so good. And Joe and me were hosting, and the people came. It was at a nice hotel. When I tell you, nobody was bidding on nothing, because when you host charity events, you have to invite certain people. You have to invite people that got wallets that are gonna write a check. I think it was a lot of people that came because it was good food. You got to dress up. They had good dancing, but they was like, I don't need to bid on nothing. Joe cursed everybody out. When I tell you, I was laughing so hard because Joe was like, every curse word I didn't even understand, Joe used, because he was like, this don't make no blippity bleep sense. Did y'all bleepity bleeping ain't vote? Because I think, Joe, did you get the golf clubs? Did you get Bernie Mac's golf clubs? I can't remember. what you
If I
got.
did, I bought them. I gave them back. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gave the
Because
golf
to
clubs
me,
back.
it's like, yeah, whatever I did, I get back. I don't, people know me. I
I
do the
bought
golf
a diamond
thing, but
necklace,
yeah, y- see
and
there,
I got
but you participated.
I pretend because I was trying to get the auctioning started.
Exactly.
See,
Yeah, and it was so. It's like if you do these things, don't invite people that ain't got no money and don't really care about the cause.
Perfect.
but what was so funny is Joe had his role. Joe cursed people out. Me,
Hey,
I was just trying to get
yes,
people to vote. And I bought because people weren't bidding, you got really good prices on the gifts. Like I bought a diamond, a
nah,
custom made diamond necklace for nothing. I ended up giving it as a gift to Lunel at one Christmas, like
nah.
5 or 6 years ago. She's got this beautiful diamond neck, and I asked for it back one day because I was
Mm.
like, Linnell, I took one of them damn edibles you gave me, and I didn't really want to give you the diamond necklace. And she was like, bitch, if you don't get out of my house, you're not getting the necklace back. So, but I will never forget Joe. It was people who came and they just didn't have the money to give. You cursed all night. Joe got
Hey man,
madder and madder. He was
hey,
cussing
yeah,
everybody.
that was, come on. It was like, come on, what are you doing? You guys are here eating, drinking free, and you act like you ain't got no money, and I start busting them up with their outfits, your cars, your chicks you with, the stuff you got on. So yeah, you gonna give them some money tonight. So
And they
you know what I'm saying? If
did,
I
and
got to
they
rob you in the
did.
parking lot, we gonna get this money.
And we did get that money, Joe. But every time I
We
do a
got that
charity
money.
event, I think about you. I think about,
You better
and I've
call.
never.
You better call me. I'm gonna pat him down in the parking lot.
I'm
All right,
so
hey,
blessed to have worked with you on many things, and blessed to know you. I just, I smile. I follow you. You have your sons. I think your son just had his birthday. Um, you
yeah.
have your
Oh
daughter.
my 22 year old. Yeah,
I think you just had.
your
How do you?
favorite, Cameron.
And Cameron is my baby. Cameron is your oldest. And it's so funny because
Yes.
Cameron had asked me, and I love it because Cameron is now a comic and he's a beast. I gotta say about Cameron, he puts in the work.
Ain't no beast. Ain't a beast.
Okay. He that's my baby.
Yeah,
I love
he
my
ain't no
Cameron.
beast.
You hard on him
I
because you
can't
his
give you.
dad. Cameron
He's not a
funny as
beast.
heck.
He's
That's
a
your son.
baby.
He's been doing comedy
Ain't
for
no
what, 5?
beast.
Is it 5 years or
Yeah,
is it more?
maybe
I think it's
6,
more than
but
5.
he only been funny. He been funny 2 years.
Okay, all right.
Which is still early for comedic standards.
Okay, let me tell
Well,
y'all
yeah,
something.
yeah. Heck, I ain't gonna let it pass it now. Come
I
on.
am Cameron's auntie. I've known my baby. I've changed his diapers.
Oh,
I love that boy so much. So for me, he's a beast. That's my baby.
Yeah,
And now y'all just
yes,
hard
yes.
on Cameron. He's been doing it 6 years and he's putting in the time. But what was funny to me was Cameron asked me, and I love him. Cameron asked me if he could do my laugh lounge. And I said, you can't, I cannot have you on before I have your daddy on. I have Joe. And I
Come
want
on.
you have to come and play with me on the show. And I was talking to Kym and I said, you think Joe would come and do my show and sit and I want people to see my friend because he's so amazing. So I told Cameron, I said, I can't have you before I have Joe. So you can't even talk to me about this anymore till your daddy
He
come on.
trying to auntie you. He getting the hustle there. He trying to auntie you, but
If
here at
Auntie ain't no
Comedy Corner,
fun.
you can. You should have told him you can sweep in the back of the Comedy Corner while somebody else is on. Keep
It's like
around, but
there it is.
you ain't about to get this mic.
and
What
it's
the
the thing
hell?
of when you knew, you don't understand about the time that you do have to put in before you can do like a national TV show. It is
Right,
a
come on
pecking
now.
order. It's a pecking order that has to happen. And so the comics that come on, and that's what, and I love Cameron because he's doing very well and he's out there. He's working on
Right.
the sketches that he does. But I'm like your uncle Guy got to come on, and Guy has come on and rock the mic, your brother, and then now you got to come on. So I would be very honored if
But
you
you,
would.
sure, you know what I tell people though, and to
What?
comics, veteran comics today. I don't care how long you've been doing comedy. People say I say yeah, I got 30, I got 15, I got an hour. I say yeah, but do you have 3 minutes on Johnny Carson, Jay Leno,
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, Sherri Shepherd? Do you have 3 minutes to go in front of America and
Yeah.
be funny like that? Because you ain't
Like
working on
that.
your 3 minutes. What you working on? Now you can prepare for 5, but your first 3 ain't hot. You getting out of there, homie. And that's what my whole stuff was. Do you have 3 minutes for Johnny Carson?
That's such a, you know what, Joe, that's absolutely true what you say, because a lot of comics you can kill in a comedy club, but it's a different vibe on
Yeah,
TV. And it's especially a different vibe on a daytime talk show, because it's not, people ain't drinking. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It ain't dark in a comedy club. And I've had a couple comics who've been doing comedy I pick one that is regular
right.
at the comedy store, used to go out, on that stage. And she came and she was like, heart palpitations. And I said, girl, this is what
Right.
you do. And when I tell you, she got in that chair and she ate it. Now, the thing is when you look
Right.
at it on TV, you can't really tell. But she knew she ate it, because she looked at me, and you could tell when you eat it, because I say, how'd you feel? That's when you made it. When I go, how you feel? When you kick, Takara Williams just came out, and she rocked it B flat, rocked it so hard, like, and I went,
Right.
you understood the assignment. So a
Exactly.
lot of people don't understand that 3 minutes, like you said, that's all you get is about 3 or 4 minutes. It's our Laugh Lounge is a 6 minute show with me setting you up and you doing your jokes. And if you can't go in front of a daytime audience, who they're not really, they're not really a comedy club audience, and you can make them
Yeah.
laugh, it's butter. It's butter.
You said a mouthful. Where are you using this skill to talk to the universe, talk to the world, where everybody should get what you get, and it's not hateful, it's not hurtful, it's informative and it's funny, and you got to understand the assignment and where you at.
And where
You
you
know,
at? Chris Spencer just was on last week, killed it. I'm so proud of my
yeah,
friends when they come on.
yeah.
And what would you say, Joe, to a person who's thinking about doing stand-up, who wants to, but they're a little scared, they don't know where they should start? What would you say to that person, but they want to do it?
I would say that you should start doing research. You should start first of all making your peace with the universe, because the universe
Okay.
is going to help you. It's going to give you whether you sick, whether you because it's information, and if you don't
Okay.
understand uh everybody you're talking to, and you're not doing it every day, you're not speaking on it every day. I've been wanting to do this since I was a kid. So writing
Yeah.
jokes, studying, looking to somebody who I want to be like. You want to be healthy, you want to be smart, you want to be this. But the more information you have as a comedian, you own the stage, because you're the smartest person in the room because you have the microphone. And if you can adapt and have a conversation with anybody in the room and understand their position, you win.
Mm.
Period. So be informative. I mean, be like, look at I got a library. These ain't number books over here. Number
Wow.
books. Number books
You are
from religion
incredibly well read.
to whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah. So if you don't feed yourself, where's it coming from?
Yeah.
It information is free, time is free, prayers are free, your gifts are free. All you gotta do is ask for them.
Wow, that's so powerful. Do you have a book? Are you writing a book, Joe?
I know everybody's like, when your book coming out? Yeah, I got not one but several. You see, I'm in my studio, so I'm back in behind me. I'm like,
I love it. I love everything
yeah,
that's going
yeah,
up on this.
yeah. So yeah. So it's but yeah, I a bunch of books, bunch of stuff coming out. It's just I just I pray on to be blessed enough to to be in a position to do the city winery tours. You know what I'm saying?
You got your,
Do
and
those
y'all
little
go to
tours.
City
Yeah,
Winery in
yeah.
Chicago, City
Chicago,
Winery in
St. Louis. I've done
St.
Pittsburgh
Louis.
is great. So let me know when you're going, because I did New York. I started in Philly. I did Pittsburgh. Did Nashville. Did New York. Which one else did I do? They're all great. They have been great cities.
I
With
do
great people.
love, I
So
love when I get one other story when I did Baltimore, because it was a group that had come, it was a group of senior
uh
citizens. They had rented out a
uh
bus and came in like a sprinter, and it was about 12 of them. And in Baltimore, they got all the security. I said, I don't know why
oh my
y'all got so
God.
much security. What's the only thing that's gonna happen? Somebody gonna have a stroke. Like it's too many cops on, because they don't play at Baltimore Comedy Club. That was the first time I had done
No,
it.
no,
And the older lady was trying to get the waitress's attention. Old people poke you. They poke you. And she poked the waitress, and the waitress got mad. So they put the whole group of senior citizens. What they put the two of them out, and I saw them leaving, and I said, "Where y'all going?" And they said they didn't put us out the club, and we got the rest of the group on the bus. And the lady was so, and I said, "Sirs, could y'all
oh my.
please give them a little grace? They all came on the bus together." And I just laugh, but those are the memories that we have, being on the road, doing it, headlining. So I would say, Joe, can you put up
Mhm.
again where Joe's going to be? I want to say it again. He's going to be at the City Winery in Atlanta. Excuse me, in
Uh,
St. Louis. When?
We've got
oh, in the
Chicago
Chicago.
City
Is
Winery,
it?
City Winery Chicago. That's tomorrow, the 13th. You can go check that out. Get tickets if you're in the Chicago area. And then the 14th, Thursday, right here, beautiful St. Louis, Missouri, Sherri's favorite
Yeah.
city. The 14th, Joe Torry with Jay McNutt, City Winery, right here in St. Louis. And if you're out and about, wave at Midcoast Media when you drive by, because it's right on the way. So
It's right on the way.
Right
And
there on the
y'all,
way.
if you go over to Joe, tell him Two Funny Mamas. Mention Two Funny Mamas, so he don't feel like we
I will.
wasted his time. Because we,
Oh no,
you
you
know,
come on. This never a time wasted with you. You my little sis. Stop it.
I just love Joe.
This is long week. So hey, so
Mhm.
word to it though. I do the city wineries like during the week though. This is grown
Okay,
folk stuff. So the Wednesdays, Thursdays, and stuff like that, just in case you want
yes,
to do
sir.
them. Because I'm in I'm a Q dog. So this is our Omega week.
The-
Omega's have 5 Q dogs in the house. So
yeah,
root. This is our achievement week. I'm in Mississippi, Valley State, I think Valley Forest State, something like that, on
yeah.
Friday, and I'm in Columbus, Cosi, on Saturday.
They can go to
Chicago,
your Instagram. What's your
St. Louis, yeah,
Instagram?
whatever. Yeah, they'll see it. They'll see it. They'll see it.
Because
Just
it's
push them
so
back.
many. We didn't put them
Joe
up.
Torry. But as comedian, I mean, you could be like 4 and 5 places every day of the week. So it's like, except for now
Absolutely.
we got now you can be one place.
You know what it is,
That's
Joe.
what you want
When
to
I
do.
when
You
I
could be one. That's what you want to do. You want that. You want to be one place. And if I want to do this on a weekend,
And it's so funny, Joe, because when I moved back to LA after they fired me off the View,
Mm,
I started doing stand up, and I would go and do the Comedy
I
Store.
know. Come
Then
on,
I would
ha
go down
ha.
to the Laugh Factory. Then I was, and that's before I went to the View. I was doing Ha Ha's because this was Kym and Buddy their night. But when I came
Right,
back, I was doing Comedy Store, Laugh Factory, uh, um, um, improv, and then I would go to the Comedy Union,
improv.
and then I would drive all the way to Anthony oh my gosh, the room by the airport. He owned it. Um,
Oh yeah, Jay Anthony.
what? J. Anthony Brown. I would go to
Jay
J.
Anthony.
Anthony Brown's room. So I was driving all
Yeah,
night. I was hitting 4 and 5 clubs a night
a night. They
because
don't
I
understand
would.
that.
People don't understand that grind, and I was doing that not like from 2016 to 2022 when I moved back to New York. I was doing all of those clubs
Wow.
2 and 3 times a week to get my, to get rid of that fear, to,
Right.
grow.
Right.
And even starting, I just remember I was doing all of the clubs in West Hollywood. I would take the bus to the Birdland West and see you. I
Remember
was,
that?
the Birdland
That's the
West. That was
'90s.
the 90s with all of
And
the
then
comics.
it was, yeah, because it was a point where we was doing 3, 4 in the night, 5, and then it chilled
The
out for a
Fun
minute. But
House.
then,
You remember,
oh
you
my
remember the
God,
Fun
yeah,
House?
come on,
Oh my!
come on,
And I've
yeah,
looked at you when you would do the Fun House. That was on Crenshaw. It was a mirror behind you, and it was people all around. It was like comedy in the round. Everybody was that scared me because I couldn't tell if people
I
was
know,
laughing at me or looking at my shoes that was run over. But you would get out there in front of that mirror, and all them comics be surrounding you. They was upstairs,
yeah.
everywhere, and I would just go, "How does he do this?" It was hard to
That,
follow Joe.
hey, listen, that that's when I knew not to put my pistol in my back because it would show. I straight up bust. I was like, oh snap! I gotta.
It literally, that's when we were doing stand. That's when Jamie Foxx was down there, DL Hughley was down there, Hope
Mhm,
Flood,
mhm.
Melanie Camacho, the late
Yes,
great Yvette,
Ricky
Yvette.
Harris,
Oh my God, I'm telling you,
Ricky
everybody
Harris, and
was.
Yvette Wilson. Yes, sir.
Ricky Harris and
Mhm.
Yvette Wilson was down there. We were tight. I remember going to
DL,
Pimpin'.
DL.
Yale there, Chris Tucker, TK
Yeah.
Kirkland,
Hey,
remember, I
hey,
don't know.
hey. What? What they say? That funky lion, Kazon, Faison.
Faison. I was just about to say Faison. I did a gig with
Okay.
Faison. We had to drive out 3 hours. What the car ran out of gas. It was Hope Flood. It was me. I mean,
Oh,
it was like we was grinding, and we did.
yeah.
Faison made all the Samoans mad. We did some club 3 hours away, and it was all Samoans. And that Negro made every Samoan in the club mad. I didn't think we was gonna make it out of there. Faison pissed me off.
And he
And
can't fight. And he can't fight.
he, he talked mad stuff, and we was like, let's go with Faison. But it was just like literally it was just we were always at the same places, and it was so much fun but we grinded, we hustled. That's what we did out there every night. And I just, I'm thinking about these clubs, and where you are, and just like you didn't, like you said, you didn't have kids. You weren't married. Joe was out. Joe was in them streets, y'all.
I was in the streets ready to make it pop. You know what I'm saying? Where you want to go? I do these jokes. Well, we can go this way or that way. I'm for the crib.
Oh, we can go
What's
that way.
happening?
Demilitant.
Don't mess with the crew. Don't mess with the crew. I'm always don't mess with the crew thing. I'm gonna size it up, but don't mess with who we with. Otherwise and I wouldn't. I would back then. I didn't. My mind wasn't as educated as now. I was like, man, you crazy. You gonna get everybody killed.
Yeah, Joe. Y'all don't even understand when I tell you, Joe was so fearless, and he would that eye would turn towards you, and it was over for you. And Joe wouldn't stop. Like the person
Yeah,
would be curled up,
yeah,
the
yeah,
dude would
yeah.
be curled
And
up in a fetal position on the floor, and Joe wouldn't stop. And it'd be like, Joe, let him go. Let him go. And Joe made it so you were scared to say something to him. But then once he got up, that man, his ego was so bruised. He was like, I'm coming back, and I'm gonna blow this place up.
I'm gonna blow this place up. Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you
I've learned not to take it that far.
when they told me, when everybody said to me, Joe got
Oh
saved,
shit.
Joe got God. I was like, which
Yeah,
Joe?
yeah. He don't take it that far. He take it far, but he don't take it that far. Nah, it ain't.
You
No.
got a peace. You got a spiritual center. That's what I would say. And it
Well, you
and
know, I think it
Joe,
was. I think I grew into my spirit, which was
Okay.
it's always fearless, it's always light, but you got to know how to control the power you have, and I think that's how you
Yes.
stay blessed. If you understand what God's given you at the time and you don't abuse it, you don't use it to to hurt people, and you don't use it to to do what is against the alignment of the assignment.
That's right. Don't go against the alignment of the assignment. But when I was told, Joe is into his spiritual place, I was like, Kym, Joe who? Not Joe Torry. Yeah, Joe Torry. Joe
Yes.
Torry's he's got a piece about him. Joe was like, and everybody was like, Joe ain't mean. Joe was like, you can actually go and talk to Joe. Joe smile. I was like, who you talking about? Joe Torry? Are you talking about Torry?
Me. Yes. I've always been there. I kind of Hollywood will get you away from that. Hollywood. Well, and I think when people ask me about what happened to Pac, I said you have a dream and you think your dream is like this, and then when you're told or sold something, um, and then when you find out it's not true, it breaks your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think
Absolutely.
that when you find out what Hollywood is really about, and everybody's not on your team but on your side and full of this, kind of breaks your heart. So you kind of you go through a period where you don't trust anymore, and you put like your heart in a safe, and you just just be whatever you think Hollywood needs to be, and that I think people go through that in every career. I think you just need to
Hmm.
grow into your spirit to understand that you need to go through that so you can be a better elder or OG later.
And you are definitely one of the greatest OGs out here today. And you have so much respect from the comics. You have integrity, you walk the walk, you walk the talk. So it just was an honor to talk to you. Can we throw up his flyer again, Chris?
Yeah, well,
Let people know.
we got a few things to show. St. Louis, the
Yep.
14th, that's Thursday. Come through. You can catch Joe Torry with Jay McNutt, City Winery. Again, a grown adult evening of
That's
wine,
right.
jazz, and laughs, and no slapping anybody. The 13th, Joe's going to be in Chicago. Joe's going to be any slapping will be consensual.
I got my goons out. I got my goons out in Chicago and St. Louis. So
Yeah, don't be trying nothing.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna try it.
So
They're already like, I'm like, man, I ain't got tickets for y'all. We be outside. Wait, she came. I'm like, okay.
13th and 14th, Chicago and St. Louis. Whether you're in either city, come out, see Joe. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
They're in wheelchairs, though.
They're literally rolling up on you. Deja, we've got two other flyers that will just pop up one more time. Again, the link to anything you need is in the live chat and in the description of this podcast. But if not, go to @JoeTorry on Instagram. Red Fox Comedy Awards, you can get those tickets again in the description, or search Red Fox Comedy Awards on Eventbrite. That's where you can get those tickets in Atlanta for December 8th. It looks like a hell of a night. You can go check that out, and you can see Joe be honored, and I'm guessing there's going to be some light roasting as part of that. Oh, man, that's going to be good.
Oh, my gosh,
hope
what
not.
I wouldn't give. You know, it's comics. It's all them comics up there, of course. Joe, I want to ask you before we end. You've accomplished so much. What else would you like to see, like, happen along this path?
Just hand the brand down to my kids.
Yeah.
To say that like any company like Heinz or Kraft, or they sell condiments, or Barnes and Nobles, they sell books. You know what I'm saying? For real, to be a
Yeah.
brand,
Yeah.
to be essential, to be a part of life where I started something essential. To whatever goes wrong, you can always count on a Torry brand. Like when pandemic happened, you needed toilet paper, you needed water, you needed cups, you needed spoons, you needed something essential. So if I can, make sure that I have a Torry essential brand, and I pass it down through generations, Done my
You know, it's funny because now in this season of my life, I
part.
think about legacy. I think about what I want to leave to a younger generation. Because at some point, you know, we're going to be up there and, you know, they already calling me auntie right now.
I'm
Um,
uncle.
okay. And I just think about what, you know, there are, I love having a talk show, but there are younger people who are needed in this space because Sexy Red probably wouldn't want to come on. I'm an auntie. You know, she might want to come on, but she probably could talk to somebody her age a little bit better. And it's just like I want to open up the door for younger people to do because I keep telling comics, you know, we don't have to be on each other. There's healthy competition, but there's a lot of room over here. Everybody's unique. And if you know who you are and you can do what you do, and I want to open up the door for that generation that can look back and say, Sherri helped me get where I am. So I think that you're doing that. And it's just so nice to talk to you because you and I love this thing that I'm seeing about you. You are such a complete piece. That's what it's looking like to me as I look at you, being at peace with whatever. It's a nice look, Joe.
Thanks for recognizing that. It is. It's here. You know me. You know me.
I know. And that's what I was like. It would look great peaceful. You'd have had no shirt on. I'm just putting that out there. But
I got. You know what? And it's funny too. Before we go wrap up, because I got a daughter now. I want to post so much stuff now. And I'm like, daughter's watching.
ain't that the truth? I can't do because my son is 19 and I can't post what I would normally, and he don't want me to talk about him. He said,
Exactly.
So she talks about him.
are you going through? Well, I can't really go into specifics. He's 19. You can imagine what's going on with a 19-year-old up there in his room right now in the dark. But I can't talk. It like have your kids done that to you and said, Dad,
Hey, I know I'm missing a lot of good silk pillow slips
Okay.
and finding a lot of crunchy towels.
Damn it. Damn it, Joe.
I'm just
And
gonna
they ain't
I'm gonna
mine.
blink. I'm gonna blink twice in agreement. I'm going to blink twice in agreement, but I can't. I'm forbidden to speak on private matters with my child. So it's crazy. I told my son, I said, you my money.
Mm.
Like you are how I make money when I talk about you because people like hearing about you. You know, I can't talk about how I'm out there in the streets no more because I'm tired. So I'm not out there. All
Hey,
I got is you.
my greatest jokes are my kids.
Thank you. Thank you. That's because you can't make it up. The stuff that comes out, Joe, if I told you off the phone, the stuff that comes out this boy's mouth, I'm like, I got to get on stage. I can't keep this to myself, but I must because he's told me. So I gotta respect him. It's hurting my comedy though. So y'all, we gonna let Joe go because you got stuff to do, and we gonna bring you back when Kym is here because she's doing a big movie in Jersey, and
Okay.
she probably had to put that massager on her leg because I know her leg is hurting. Because they have her running because she had surgery. She had a major surgery,
Right.
and they
Okay.
now have her running up and down a steep hill. Now, have you seen the way Kym walk? She moves, but it looked like everything hurts. So she running up and down a hill, and
Wow.
she told them, "This is Auntie." She told them she went halfway down the hill, and she said, "That's all. I don't see no cameras. The cameras don't see me. I'm not running no more." That's what Kym told them. And when I tell you she's
Hey,
next
Will.
to, she told Ben Stiller this. That's what she said to Ben Stiller. She said, "I'm not running no more." And they accommodated Kym because Kym be fussing at everybody. So it's a
Yeah.
movie with Ben Stiller and
You
some
just
more.
gave it away. It's in the trades though. It's in the
Oh,
trades.
what trades? Hell, it's Happy Gilmore too. I didn't know. Shoot, she doing Happy Gilmore too with Ben Stiller and who's the other one? What's his
Don't tell her,
name?
Joe. Joe, don't tell her. Make her think of it.
No,
Don't tell her. Don't
No,
tell her.
no, let
tell
her,
me.
Adam
Oh,
Sandler.
let
Adam
her.
Adam
Sandler's.
I was like, oh boy, to be with Drew Barrymore all the time. Adam Sandler. Joe, when I tell you,
She's like Tom Green. Oh God.
no, when I say
Oh
I
no,
don't know,
not him.
stop laughing at me, and it ain't Tom Green. I be sitting there, Joe, like this is the best age of my life. Like I love my age, but this is stuff people don't post about getting in this older season. My memory, like when I sat there and was trying to remember Robin Harris's name, his face is clear as day in my head. When I'm
Right,
trying to remember who the
right.
heck this boy is to be, and all I remember is he with Drew Barrymore. I sat across from Lorenz Tate on my show, and I'm talking to him about The Shy, and all of a sudden my mind went blank, and I said, "Who is this that I'm sitting across from?" Oh my gosh! And I said Jesus, and then Lorenz Tate, his name came back. But it happens to me all the time. The brain farts. I hope it don't ever
Hey,
happen when I'm on stage and I can't remember my joke because I would be
well, you know what?
devastated.
You just make that a joke.
Oh gosh, you know,
That's
just
what I
telling
do. I'm
everything.
like, what the hell was I just talking about? Hey, move
That's so
on.
time.
I was like, I was like, I must have been trying to get onto this. Okay, let me try this one. Hey man, I don't take nothing. I'm like, wait a minute, I was going somewhere with this story.
Exactly. I was going somewhere with
I
it
was,
and I can't
I was
remember.
going somewhere with this. And then, I blame it on them. I'm like, you know what? I'll come back to that. Or I ask the audience, what was I talking about? Anybody remember? Y'all listening? I'm serious.
I'm
That
telling.
become the funniest stuff, Sherry. That become the funniest stuff. I'm like, hey man, I'm 59. All right. I used to be like, where my 50s at? Where my 50s? Where my 60s at? I'm like, damn, I'm down there in my 60s. I got one more year of my 50s. And I'm like, I gotta find a whole new audience. Because that's a whole nother set of pills for somebody in their 50s and 60s. So I look at people like, hey man, I say, hey man, we gonna be in the same nursing home, so let's respect each
Let's can I tell you this, Joe? My daddy is
other. Yeah,
and he's got dementia, so he's in a nursing home. But there was
right.
my daddy. He got into a fight with somebody else in a nursing home because my daddy went into
Hmm.
the guy's
Oh my God.
room and My daddy thought it was his room, so he was going through the stuff, and he walked into another guy's room and he saw the guy going in his stuff, and my daddy thought it was his room. So my
Right.
daddy from Chicago, so he fight too in his former days. So he was with an old time gangster who hadn't died. This dude was an OG gangster. So they got into a fight. They called me at work. Daddy didn't got into a fight. Do you know my daddy did? And the man didn't. I said, are they hurt? And she said, I don't know. They don't remember fight. Neither one of them, and like had a full on fight because they both fighters and didn't remember that they fought. But this dude, every time I go to this nursing home, like you said, we're gonna be in a nursing home.
No,
This is a
that's a
gangster.
joke. That's a joke right there. None of them can press charges.
No, none of them. And I said to my daddy, I said, Daddy, your pocket is torn. He said, I don't know how that happened. I'm gonna have to get another shirt. He don't remember he was throwing blows, my daddy. But oh boy, the other dude, he used to be
Right.
black disciple in
Right.
Chicago. I forgot what the gang is called. But he never died, and he was even with his dementia,
That
he
was it.
scared the mess out of me. Oh my gosh, in his
So
little
hey,
wheelchair.
so my father passed of dementia. Um, and he was, he did career, Vietnam, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
6 kids, beat alcoholism, quit smoking, all that when he came back. Bro, my dad was a real warrior, a real man.
Okay.
Vietnam, 6 kids. My mother never drank, never drove. You know what I'm saying? So she wasn't fun at no parties. He was an alcoholic, smoked, killing people in Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? Coming back, she church and teacher. But I'm saying, so my father, when he passed of dementia, you never heard my father. He's rough, tough, always talking stuff. So when it got to a point, we had to move him to a nursing home. He was
Right.
forgetting where he lived. He couldn't go
Yeah.
around the corner. He was my mother's driver. So he would just have to go around the corner to Walgreens or something and get lost for 2 hours. So the police had to bring him home. Like, yeah, he was just parked on the street in the middle of the street, and he was forgetting stuff. Or dementia's crazy. So
Yeah.
he was okay. Trying to move him to nursing home, not eating, not doing well. So he's a veteran. Veteran at the time they needed to move him. Veterans hospitals was full, so they said we would have to put him in this city hospital for like maybe a weekend for a week.
Yeah.
Till the beds clear up. Cool. So he all out of his mind. So we had to move him to just nursing home in the hood.
Oh
He don't
gosh.
know nothing else. But he knew he was in the hood. When we tried to take him out the ambulance and put him there, he was like, hey, where y'all taking me? This what's what this is what is this? I said, you got dementia, but you recognize where you at? Oh. He was like,
He said, "Where y'all taking me?"
what the hell? His real mind came back real quick. He was like, hold on. Oh, this where y'all taking me? This where I'm at in my life? he's, he's like, this the hood. He's
Oh gosh. Oh
he
gosh.
got his real sense back real quick. Like, hold on, this Union and Martin Luther King. What the hell I'm doing over here? He couldn't even see the street signs. But this
Gosh. Oh my
nigga knew he
goodness.
was in the hood.
Oh gosh. When I
And
tell you,
he died like 3 weeks later. He was like, man, I ain't staying up in here. His dementia went straight out.
He
He
said
could
natural.
remember
He said
shit for
natural.
months.
Natural bridge and what?
Man, exactly.
He said grand and where?
He went Union and Martin Luther King. It's like, that's the White Castles. Where y'all? Ain't no
okay,
hospitals over here.
Terrible.
when I
He know what
tell
I'm
you,
talking about, man. And we was
and,
like,
and he,
dude, you got dementia, but it's real instincts kicked in. Like, is it over for me?
Kym talks about her dad, having his memory issues. It's funny because as we enter into this season, being caretakers for our parents and
Oh my
people
God,
in the
yeah.
audience can relate to that. Like Kym talks about her father served in Vietnam, and they were he was a fighter pilot. And so she just talks about him thinking he's still a fighter pilot and be talking into the flowers like it's the walkie-talkie. When I tell you, she talk about her daddy talking into them flowers, telling people, giving them the codes and all of that. You are on the floor because it is
Hey man,
what we are going through, and people. That's the difference between being funny and being a comic.
yeah,
I tell people, being a comic, you got to
yeah,
make people laugh at 2 a.m. or people you don't know. You gotta make them laugh. Being
yeah, you're right.
funny, you make your friends laugh. You make your family laugh. People around the water cooler. But when you a comic, it don't matter where you are. You gotta make people laugh. What's your
It was
definition?
Sherry. My definition is you. You have come full circle to where you need to be, and
Oh
as
man.
a person that just want to be an entertainer, to find their way of being a comic, being a conversationist, comedian, actor. You've come full circle to being a mom, and you have put all that into like what God is blessing you to wake you up every day to do. And trust me, I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see you grow. And I'm like, wow, man. I mean, people don't know life is amazing if you just let it. If you just let it.
If you
And if
just
you just
let it.
believe in,
Absolutely.
and believe and keep believing like you have. Come on. You have never given up, and you have always believed in yourself.
Thank you, Joe. I'm so blessed, that I came up in LA because I always tell people if wherever you are, you a comic, you gotta move, you gotta come over here. It ain't nothing like being in the
Yeah,
environment. Um, Either you gotta go to LA or you gotta go to New York. And, just coming up around you and watching you and studying you and being around all of the great comics. I'm very proud of you, and I'm very thankful for you, because really, when I say fearless, you're one of the people I think of when I am scared. Like, WWJD, what would Joe do? What would Joe do? And
that means a lot for real. I gotta remember
it
that.
does.
What would Joe do?
What would Joe do? So you sell your WWJD bracelets too.
To
I, li-
myself, right?
I like who would Joe diss? Also works.
Joe would do something. This is also what Joe would do. When he would bring people on, he'd be like, giving them their intro, but he'd go, "But is he funny?" Like, that was it. Joe
Well,
brought you
damn,
up, and
is he funny?
damn, is he funny? And if you didn't do well, Joe would roast your behind. Got up on that stage. You knew you had to come with it. And that's the thing. It's like when you're around, iron sharpens iron. And so being around you, you had to rise to that level, because otherwise Joe was going to roast you and make you want to quit comedy, and you had to come back. Because DL told me, I think I bombed at the townhouse. I tried to work on my heckler lines, and I got it all messed up because they used to talk about my boobs all the time. I have big breasts. Everybody heckled me about,
Yes,
you
she
got them
did.
big ass titties. Yeah. And I got my heckler response all tongue twisted, and I bombed, and I was crying.
Sherri, can you redo that? Do that one more time. How did people do it to you? With the hands? With the hands?
That was Joe over there. It's Joe. Because my boobs were really big. And every time I got on stage, and it was always the black clubs. The white clubs never heckle me about my breasts because they were very, very. Chris Spencer was talking about this with me on my show about the difference between doing white clubs and black clubs. And when I would get to the Comedy Act or the Birdland West or the Townhouse or the Fun House, as soon as I got on stage, I'm telling you, within the first 30 seconds, somebody was like, "Look at them big ass titties." Big ass titties. That's all I remember. Ooh, you got them titties. And so I was trying to work on a heckler line, and I worked up.
That's crazy.
They always, all y'all. Even when I got off stage, Joe, you talking about my titties. Big ass titties. That's all I ever heard. Which is why I got a breast reduction. Thank you. And
if you get your titties out your, I was like, if you get your titties out of the microphone, they can hear you.
And there you go. There you go. That's Joe Torry for you. And I heard that so much at the black clubs that I went home and stood in front of the mirrors, and I came up with a line that said, "You couldn't afford my titties because you'd have to put these titties in layaway to be able to afford them." And I said, I'm gonna try this out at Negro night at the Townhouse. And I got tongue twisted and tongue tied. Oh, Joe came up there and talked about me so bad. And I was crying. And DL said to me, I said, I'm quitting. And he said, you gotta come back. He said, if you leave now, you won't come back. You gotta get back up on that stage. And that's what made me stronger. That's what made me be able to deal with hecklers. I had a heckler in Chicago. He wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. It was at Riddles, Damon Williams Club. And he said to me, I could sit you on my dick and spin you around. That's what he said to me. And I said, that's all you got? That's all you got? Negro, I could buy you a townhouse, a Tesla, and pay your widow bills. You did, and it was off. It was on fire. I was like, you can't out heckle me. Do you understand what I have been through? That's all you got.
That's
And
all you got.
That's from coming up in the comedy clubs with the likes of Mr. Joe Torry. Miss who said, if I move my titties, maybe you could hear what I'm saying in the microphone. Now that's that right there is comedy gold.
Okay.
Sherri, I didn't mean to cut you off. You two have absolutely killed it. Joe's got shows in Chicago and St. Louis coming up the 13th and 14th at City Winery. You can go check that out at Joe Torry on Instagram. All this great information. December 8th, go to Eventbrite in Atlanta as well. There you go. There's your St. Louis City Winery flyer. In Atlanta, December 8th, Red Fox Comedy Award of Humor. Go check those out. Get out and see... What a crazy lineup. Joe and a bunch of funny people for this big time award. So I just wanted to get that in. I know we're signing off here, but what a pleasure. You all have been doing great live chat, still laughing hard and going strong. So thank you to everybody for tuning in as well.
Joe, you have been absolutely amazing. Thank you for your time. Anytime you want to promote anything, come on the podcast. Kym will be available. And you'll get you haven't gotten the full Two Funny Mamas experience because Kym is not here.
Oh my God.
You will get her screaming at Joshua, screaming at everybody. The pool didn't overflow, Kym rocking back and forth and fussing. So you definitely have to come back. But in the meantime, sir, the next time I'm gonna see you is on the Sherri Show.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you, Sherri.
I love you.
I had
too,
a wonderful
Joe.
time. Better, more than what I anticipated.
Well, thank you. We're glad. Did we lose Joe?
He's had enough.
I said Joe said.
Somebody tried to call me.
Was it Terrence?
Yeah, it was Terrence.
Terrence. Do you remember Terrence in St. Louis, Sherri, when we did karaoke at KJ's? Terrence hooked it all up.
Terrence.
He hooked this up too. So shout out to Terrence. We love Terrence.
Shout out to Terrence. Joe,
shout out to you, Terrence. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Terrence. I can't believe he figured out how to use his phone tonight. Big steps for Terrence. He's making big steps.
We love you, Joe, and we'll talk to you later.
You.
Thanks, everybody.
Love you. I like you guys.
Bye-bye,
Appreciate
everybody. It was amazing. Bye-bye.
Two funny mamas.